Macron defends tougher immigration reform as a shield. Yesterday, the new immigration law was passed in France. The parliament eventually passed the law. You remember that last week, there was a lot of hullabaloo in the House of Parliament regarding immigration law reform. It was not an easy thing for them last week because the members of the parliament, all of them were in disarray. And some in support of the new immigration reform to be passed, and some of them were actually against it. The left-wing party of Mr. Macron and the rest of the left-wingers in the House, most of them, in support. Some of them also went against this, while the far-right political party of Miss Marine Le Pen was in support of this completely. But eventually, yesterday, the law was passed, which made a lot of the politicians in the House to be more dejected and disappointed about the new law that was passed. What was the comment of Mr. Macron? I'll give them to you right now. French President Mr. Emmanuel Macron has defended a controversial immigration reform, describing it as a shield. He said the tougher legislation passed by MP on Monday was needed to cut an influx of illegal migrants. It makes it more difficult for migrants to bring family members to France and delay their welfare benefits access. The vote split Mr. Macron's centrist Renaissance Party, and his health minister resigned because of this. Marine Le Pen, far-right national rally backed the bill. That is normal for Mrs. Marine Le Pen political party to back anything that has to, any law that will have to go against immigrants in France. Leaders of the third of French region said they will not comply with certain measures in the law. Some of them are, going against it, like I said before. On Wednesday, Mr. Macron told the France 5 TV channel that the country had an immigration problem. It's the shield that we needed, Mr. Macron said, referring to the new law. The president added that his government needed to stand by, standing by the measure and calm the tension in the country. And commenting on the protests resignation of the health minister, Mr. Aurélien Rousseau, Mr. Macron said he respects his position for resigning because of the new law that was passed that went against the immigrants in the country. The bill was passed after the government had toughened the previous rejected draft to get the vote of Ms. Le Pen's lawmakers. One controversial provision of the legislation discriminates between citizens and immigrants. That's a big problem. Even those living in the country legally in determining the eligibility for benefits. Getting tougher, if you can understand what this new law will bring into France, or how it will go against the migrants, most especially those living in the country. Not to even talk about those people coming in from outside the country right now. It's also banned detaining minors in detention centers. This is a very good one. Ms. Le Pen welcomed the amendment bill, calling it ideological victory for the far right. And we will remember the far right are just taking over, trying to take over the European space right now. You remember what happened in Netherlands that I brought to you the last time. So Le Pen, Marine Le Pen would definitely be happy if far right takes over, or the far right take over the whole Europe, going against immigration or migrants coming into EU. But left-winger said Mr. Macron was enabling the far right. History will remember those who betrayed their conviction, Socialist Party leader Olivier Faure said. In France, 32 of the country's 101 departments, including Paris, said they will refuse to implement the provision of the law on benefit for non-citizens. The legislation will be reviewed by the country's highest constitutional court. In a separate development on Wednesday, EU government reached an agreement in principle to reform the asylum system across the 27 blocks member states. The new pact still to be ratified by the European Council and the European Parliament speed up the standardized both the vetting and the deportation of the rejected asylum seekers. It also allows asylum seekers to be relocated from southern member states, which have the highest number of arrival, to other countries. This is about the news of what is happening in France regarding immigration. So, listen to it carefully and try to pick what you think is important there. We need to inform ourselves about what is going on around the world. But look at what is going on in France now with the new immigration law. Banning this and banning that and banning that. You know, I think the migrants also, or the people coming into France or living their own country as well, should tell their own country, their own leaders, their leaders in their own country to do the right thing. They should do the right thing. You remember this week as well, the numbers of people that died coming from Libya on the high sea that are brought to you. I mean, it's a very tough thing. Remember what happened in Dublin a couple of weeks ago regarding the same thing. You just wonder why people are leaving and coming into Europe and going into America to have a greener pasture, or to have a safe life or a standardized life. And you wonder if the country they are coming from as well have leaders, or if they have brain at all to think. If they have foresight at all to think. You also recall there are a lot of doctors and nurses and the medical practitioners live in Nigeria as we speak now, migrating to other parts of the world. And you wonder if this is right. And you wonder if, these people has, the same brain like the people, the Europeans and the Americans that their citizens are running around to come and meet here. And look at what is happening around here now. Like I said, see, things are changing. They don't want to host anymore. The host country are refusing. In fact, some of them, like the UK, they are making immigration law or the migrant as a source of income for their own country through various means of their visa processing. I wonder when, and I don't know when will the African rise up against their own leader to make them to do the right thing, against their own ruiner to tell them it's not the right thing instead of running away from there. What will the future bring for the African children, for the African younger ones? What would the next 5 years, 10 years be for them? Will it remain like this? And what would the European do afterwards? Will they send every migrant packing down back to where they come from? It's a very tough question, and we need to stand up and think about it. If it is okay, let us know. Put your comment in the comment section. Let's have a discussion on this.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest video.